In the wake of the financial crisis, in order to gain a better understanding of the situation, I personally have visited quite a number of Chinese companies located in Melbourne. From there, I have learned that business had been seriously affected, with companies of resources and energy or ocean shipping business suffered greatly. Despite all the negatives, I still believe that China-Australian business relations can grow and will continue to be strong. One simple reason for that is the word crisis in Chinese means crisis and opportunity both. Therefore, while dealing with crisis, one also gets an opportunity. And under the current crisis, it is inevitable that the trade between us be affected. However, we still have a chance to go forward. My conclusion is based on the following three nationals. First, minerals and commodities will continue to be an important part of our bilateral trade. Trade in minerals held a prominent position in our bilateral trade for years, and I think the price rocketing in the last couple of years and the possible further price down in due course are both abnormal. China is in an important period of strategic development, stressing very much on the fast industrialization and urbanization, infrastructure construction, upgrading of industrial and consumption structures, environmental protection and conservation projects, as somebody just mentioned, and various other social development programs. And all these projects can be interpreted as huge potential for demand and growth. Now, given these factors, China's demand for Australian energy and resources will be steadfast and a long-term need. At the same time, China can be constructive in stabilizing commodity price in world market, which in turn, I believe, is good for China-Australian cooperation in field of energy and resources in the long run. Second, service trade, including environmental industry and high and new technology, will become the new highlights in bilateral trade and economic cooperation. I think Ben just mentioned a lot on the STEM research, a lot of other environmental projects. China firmly sticks to sustainable development. With its economy being reformed, new technology and innovation are best needed to achieve the goal of energy saving and emission reduction. This means that high-tech and service trade could become a new focus of bilateral trade and economic cooperation. As they are not mineral resources-based, this could mean a lot to places like Victoria, since it is strong in finance, education, tourism, clean energy, and relatively advanced in environmental technology and manufacturing. Last year, Mr. Zhang Ping, the chairman of NDRC, visited Victoria and he was taken to see the clean coal and the carbon capture technology in Latrobe Valley. I think the gentleman from Beijing just mentioned this. I feel impressed that you know all these projects so well. Both sides expressed high interest in cooperation following the visit. And not too long ago, a delegation from NDRC visited Victoria, showing high interest in the PPP model. The commercial office of my consulate is now working closely with the Australian side to establish a new business cooperation model for Australian and Chinese companies. Furtherly, Chinese investment in Australia rises significantly. Given the stable political, economic, and social development, social environment, more and more Chinese enterprises regard Australia as an ideal place for investment. And a number of Chinese companies choose Australia as their springboard for US and European market due to Australia's proximity and a Western economic system. It is particularly worth mentioning that in a tide of direct investment to Australia, private-owned Chinese companies now have caught up with state-owned enterprises to become an important source of capital. As far as I know, in Victoria and Tasmania last year, there are around 20 new projects involving Chinese entrepreneurs, with a total investment of more than $60 million US. Sinopec's oil field project, fertilizer project of CNCEC in Latrobe Valley, Tianjin Institute of Pharmaceutical Research, just to name a few. And a privately owned company named Sargon Steel invested in Tasmania. 2 weeks ago, Mr. Lou Jianwei, Chairman and CEO of China Investment Corporation, were here to explore business or investment opportunities. So I believe such an investment trend will keep its momentum. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that the Chinese economy will be able to get through because over the past 30 years or so, the reform and opening up of China has put in place a solid material, technological, and institutional foundation. And we have a healthy fiscal balance, a very sound financial system, and adequate funds. Our social system enables us to mobilize all the necessary resources for big undertakings and carry out the stimulus package without any concession. When China, as a large developing country, runs its own affairs well, it can be helpful to restore confidence in global economic growth and curb the spread of the international financial crisis. It also means hope for increase of China's imports and outbound investment, offering impetus to world economic growth and the creation of more jobs for other countries, including Australia. China is ready to work with other countries to tackle various global risks and challenges. At this critical moment, it is all the more necessary for us to be confident, cooperative, responsible, and opposed to whatever forms of trade protectionist act. In conclusion, let me cite our Premier's recent remarks. He said, "The harsh winter will be gone and spring is around the corner." So let us work closely together to bring about a new round of world economic growth. Thank you very much.